Texans fans, I think I know why you're really mad.
That was big Sarge. Yes, sir.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? You're tuning to Sports Talk with Big Sarge. I'm your host, Big Sarge. Make sure you follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter at Big Sarge Sports to Z at the end. Follow me on the Tick and the Talk at Big Sarge Media. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube pages, Big Sarge Media and Texans Tailgate Talk, all one word, Texans Tailgate Talk. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end, because you know we do everything for the gram. Well, happy Monday morning to you all. Pretty sure you got some good rest after watching that snooze fest of a Super Bowl. We'll get into that just in a couple of minutes. But I want to start off by saying this. I thoroughly enjoyed the halftime performance by Bad Bunny. Now, I want to be honest with you. I told somebody who works for the Rockets that I probably wasn't going to watch the Bad Bunny performance because I don't know the words to the songs. I don't speak Spanish. That's something that I would love, a language I would love to dive into and learn. Maybe that'll be a goal heading into 2027. Learning how to speak Spanish, becoming bilingual. I'm bilingual, Leroy. There's a difference. Some of you all will get that reference. Some of you all won't. But I told a person who worked for the Rockets that I wasn't going to watch the halftime show because I didn't know the words, and I didn't know, if watching it and not knowing the words, what it was going to do for me, right? And then I said, before I left, I said, wait a minute. I've watched novellas before, right? If you don't know what novellas are, those are the Mexican soap operas. And I said, I've watched them and they are amazing. I have no clue on what is being said, but the way that they act and the passion that they put into it, and it's like no one. And then they speak Spanish and they come back and they be like, and I'll be like, oh, what did you do to Maria, Juan? Oh, I hope she get you. No wonder she mad at you because you messing with her, sister. Yeah, telenovelas. So I was like, I watch those and I just be like, I don't know what's going on, but I can feel the passion in which those actors and actresses, the passion that they have, and I can just pick up on it. And I mean, cheating gonna be cheating, lying gonna be lying, deceit gonna be deceit. So you can pick up on that real quickly. And so that's what I told the person who worked for the Rockets. I said, you know what? I said, I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna watch it. I said, because I do watch telenovelas, so I will watch the halftime show with Bad Bunny. Now, I have nothing against Bad Bunny. I know that he is by far one of the greatest performers greatest artists and performers that the world has ever seen. And I had heard so much about his shows. So I said, you know what? I'm going to watch it. And oh my God. My wife was looking at me like, you don't even know what's going on. I was like, I don't need to know what's going on to feel the passion of the music. I was, woo! Dun, 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 dun. Boy, I was into it. Like I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to watch that halftime show again. And the reason I'm going to watch it again, because one, it was fire. And two, it pissed off a lot of y'all. And I like that type of stuff. I like the type of stuff that kind of pisses y'all off for no reason at all. It's not American. Well, what is Puerto Rico? And if you actually watch the show, if you actually watch the halftime performance, he ingratiated and incorporated everybody. So for those of you all who stereotyped him from the get-go and didn't want to watch the show because of this, that, and the other, then I'm saying to myself, you've already condemned it without even watching it, right? What is this? Hey, whoever you are, Arden 2277, I'm about to get you up out the paint here in just a second. Anyway, so you didn't want to watch that, but you watched a 55-year-old man in jorts who couldn't even lip sync his own songs. Ah, yeah, that's about it for you right there, my guy. Goodbye. Goodbye. Hold on. I got to get somebody up out the paint, y'all. And so anyway, y'all watched a 55-year-old man in jorts who did not know the words to his own songs. A 55-year-old man that you all talk about he is a patriot. He is what America strives for, but yet didn't he run on didn't his whole platform have him being like a poor kid out of Michigan or whatever the case may be when he's really rich? He's a culture vulture, actually. Yeah, it's time to get you up out of here too. Goodbye. Hold on. See your Bobola, you don't know what jorts are? It's like jean shorts. They're like jean shorts. That's what they are. So anyway, as I digress, y'all, you know what? I put a tweet out last night that said the Patriots lost both ways. Like it was just a sad night. I think I said this something like it was a bad. That's what I said. It was a bad night for Patriots. Because Bad Bunny put on a hell of a performance, and y'all clicked over to watch that other show that had Kid Rock. I thought he was gonna pass out on stage at one point from the clips, and then you came out in jorts, and you couldn't even get the words to your song right. Like these your songs, bro. How you can't lip sync to your own songs? You know why? Because when you're a poser, when you rob the culture when you rob the culture, excuse me, when you're a culture vulture, when you really are not a good performer, excuse me. Hey, Mr. J Whitey, you about to get your ass up out the paint in just a second too. So if you're new here, let me tell you something. I don't mind the discourse, the rhetoric, the back and forth in the comments. But if you get disrespectful, I will get your ass up out the paint. Let me tell you something about me, hand over heart. Let me tell you something about me that you may not know. Your presence here does not. Let me put this another way. Don't think that I need your presence here. I don't get paid from it. I don't get paid because your presence is here. And I'm talking to the ones who don't know. I'm talking to you all thinking that you're going to show up and you're going to be able to say whatever you want to say or do whatever you want to do because you think that I need the like, click, the retweet, the subscription. I don't need that. No, not me. I don't. I digress. Once again, you're tuned into Sports Talk with Big Sarge. I'm your host, Big Sarge. Let's go ahead and jump right into this thing. You know what? No. I'm going to take a break. And when I come back from the break, I'll tell you which AFC quarterback should be the most upset after watching that Super Bowl on Sunday. We'll be back.
Hi, Laura Williams coming to you here from Easy Honda. Just want to remind you that this is my new home, and here at Easy Honda, we are here to take care of all your vehicle needs. From new vehicles to pre-owned vehicles, we've got what you are looking for. And if you're a business and you're looking for vehicles, we've got a great selection here at our dealership. For any information on getting your next vehicle here at Easy Honda, you can reach me at 281-224-3666. Remember to ask for Laura Williams. We make it easy here at Easy Honda.
Hey, welcome back. Hold on. Your mama just thought you should know that, Mr. J. Whitey. Your mama does. Even though I'm married, she still be hopping in my DMs, and I have to tell her, hey, look, Susan, I understand. I know that John hasn't been blowing your back out in over 12 years. I understand that. I definitely understand that John has not been doing what he's supposed to do, even with the little blue boys. But you can't come over here and think that you're going to dip your toe in some chocolate and get it from over here, because you're not. So, hey, Mr. Whitey, goodbye. I'm sorry, y'all. I have to go through and get rid of these bots first. Yeah, let me get rid of these bots. Yep. So, yeah, I had to get rid of them bots. All right. Once again, let me make sure I got this right. 11:42. Welcome back. You're tuned to Sports Talk with Big Sarge. I'm your host, Big Sarge. Before I went to the break, I told you that there's one AFC quarterback that should be very disappointed by the results of the Super Bowl last night. For those of y'all who didn't get a chance to watch the Super Bowl, the Seattle Seahawks defeated the New England Patriots on Sunday night to win the Super Bowl. And I will say this, my expectations were met. And what I mean by my expectations, what I mean by my expectations were met, I expected the Seattle Seahawks to blow the New England Patriots out. I expected that. I listen, I'm surprised that New England even got 13 points. Like, I watched New England play in real time and in real life. Like, I watched them. And I said to myself, there's no possible way that this team is going to win a Super Bowl. They don't have enough offensive firepower to win the Super Bowl. And anytime you have to depend on the wide receivers that they had, the one of the running backs had a very, very good season, but I think it was Henderson. But anytime you got to depend on those wide receivers to go along with that offensive line, to go along with that quarterback, you're not going to do it. And don't get me wrong, do I think that Drake May played very well this season in the regular season? I do. I think he did good. I think that one of the things that I always tell you is that he took advantage of he took advantage of what was presented to him. We all know that the New England Patriots had a very easy schedule. We know that the New England Patriots was one of those teams whose schedule was very favorable. And as long as if your defense can keep you in the game, then your offense maybe can score you some points. And so, Drake May having his name put in MVP considerations, I'm like, okay, I get it. I understand that because when CJ Stroud first came into the league, he played an easy schedule. Jaden Daniels played an easy schedule. Caleb Williams, like, those easy schedules go to those teams who are really bad. And as we seen last season, when it came to the Houston Texans, their schedule was a little bit harder because of their past success. The New England Patriots hadn't had any success, so they got some of the easier schedule. That's how the NFL does it. So when you look at some of those teams who are bad this year, they're going to get a very favorable schedule going into next season, and those who had success are going to get a harder schedule. So next year, you'll really be able to see who Drake May really is in the regular season, because their schedule is going to be very difficult, especially off of the success that they had this past season by making it to the Super Bowl. Now, I don't want to take anything away from the New England Patriots, knowing that they were one of those teams who just took advantage of what they were supposed to. They stayed healthy for the most part throughout the season. They beat the teams that they should have beat, and they got to where they were. especially out of the regular season. But when it comes to the postseason, like Drake May wet the bed. Like Drake May was probably the worst quarterback throughout this whole postseason run. For him to even had an opportunity to play in the Super Bowl, I think that's he should be, clapping just for that, for them to even make it to the Super Bowl. Because when you go back and you look at the loss, I'm sorry, when you go back and you look at the game against the Texans, they should have lost. He had 179 yards passing. I think he had the 3 touchdowns. But we discussed this before. But think about those 3 touchdowns that he threw against the Texans. One came off a tip a tip by Kalen Bullock. Kalen Bullock actually got his hand on the ball, tipped the ball, but the receiver still caught it. The second one against the one that Stephon Diggs had, he was double covered. That was a good pass, but there's no other way that the defenders could have played that. That was a really good pass. But that one to Booty, that was a lucky pass. That was a lucky pass. Great catch, but a lucky pass. And so you watch Drake May throughout this postseason, and you're saying to yourself, they got there in spite of you. Like, they didn't get there because of you. The New England Patriots did not get to the Super Bowl because of Drake May. They got there in spite of Drake May, in spite of the way that he played. I mean, you could just see, even I think that in the Super Bowl, I think the Patriots didn't score on their first 10 possessions. Their first 10 possessions, they didn't even score. And nobody was surprised. You watched what that team has done. You've watched what that offense, not the defense, but you've watched what that offense has done throughout the postseason. And you knew, hey, this is par for the course. This is exactly who they are. This is exactly what they're doing. You can't expect a separation from Stephon Diggs. You can't expect separation from Booty. You can't expect. Hey, what's the guy's name that showed up in shackles? The one that don't never come to the game with that never has shoes on when he comes to the games. Like, I can't remember the name. What's the guy who scored the touchdown? I can't even remember his name. But anyway, they don't have a wide receiver core that's going to blow you away. They have a decent they got a decent tight end, but that New England Patriots offense was like nothing. And so you want to look at, and you want to say that CJ Stroud should be upset, right? And we'll talk about why Texans fans are, I know why Texans fans are really upset. We'll talk about that. But you look at, CJ Stroud, why he should be upset, right? You look at Bo Nix, especially getting hurt and injured the way that he got injured. You look at him and you say, damn, he should be upset because he got injured. But by the same token, he's looking and saying, I think that we probably could have competed way better than that New England Patriots team did last night. But this quarterback, right? This one quarterback in the AFC that should be the most upset because it was on you and this was your year and you could have done it. Sure, Texans fans are going to tell you that this was their year, right? Texans fans are going to tell you that, and in their mind, some of them believe that, some of them don't. Texans fans will tell you, hey, this was our year, but our quarterback didn't do what he's supposed to do. No, here's who really should be upset. Here's who really should be mad. The Buffalo Bills and their fans. They should be upset. They should be highly pissed off they should be pissed to the highest of pistivity, whatever that is. The Buffalo Bill fans should be mad. They're the ones that should be mad at Josh Allen. You came into the season as the reigning MVP, an award that some don't believe that you should have had. Some believe that award should have went to Lamar Jackson, but they gave it to you though, Josh Allen. You had it. You got it. You got your team to the postseason, right? You got your team to the postseason. And then you got there and you wet the bed. This was your season, Josh Allen. No Patrick Mahomes, no Lamar Jackson, No Joe Burrow. This was your opportunity to seize this moment. This was your opportunity to get to where you needed to be. This was your opportunity to put your name and cement your name and your legacy into the Hall of Fame. Because Josh Allen wins a Super Bowl, he's going into the Hall of Fame. If Josh Allen never makes a Super Bowl, it may be a little bit harder. Because I'm going to be honest with you. If you can say to yourself that you're going to put Josh Allen in before Eli Manning, if Josh Allen's career ended today, you're putting Josh Allen in over Eli Manning? Sure, Josh Allen is one of those quarterbacks who can be electrifying. He makes plays that no one has ever seen. I think that before they played the Houston Texans, one of the things that DeMeco Ryans and a couple of the Houston Texans defenders said is that the one thing about Josh Allen is there's no play is ever over till it's over. He can make something happen right at the end when you think he's about to run out of bounds, or you think he's about to go down, or you think he's about to take off running and he can make a spectacular play. He is electrifying. If we're going to put him in the Hall of Fame because he's more electrifying than Eli Manning, then sure, of course. But this was your time to shine, Josh Allen. This was one of the easiest paths that you would have had to a Super Bowl. Now, do I think that you could have beat the Seattle Seahawks? No. I think that the Seattle Seahawks is a team that was destined to get there. And the only team that was going to stop the Seattle Seahawks from getting to the Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl is the Los Angeles Rams. And the reason why is because Sean McVay is smart as hell. I told you, there is no coach in the NFL who is smarter than Sean McVay at all, period, point blank. Debate your stepdad. Yep, goodbye. So, with that being said, right, Josh Allen, this was your time to shine. This was your time to be able to do what you needed to do to get your team to the Super Bowl. And what did they do? What did the Buffalo Bills do? They said, well, Josh, even though he had all those turnovers against the Broncos, even though he didn't play his best game against the Broncos, hey, let's fire the coach. And not only fire the coach, let's fire the coach, promote the GM, and then let's talk about our wide receiver, Keon Coleman. Hey, let's dog him out. Let's take everything, all the onus off of let's take the onus off of Josh Allen and blame everybody else. Kind of like you New England Patriots fans. You're going to take everything away from Drake May and blame it on everybody else except the person who it should be blamed on, and that's Drake May. Drake May and Josh Allen right now are the Spider-Man meme pointing at each other. They both sucked in the postseason. Buffalo Bills fans, you should be calling the radio stations right now. You should be jumping on any live shows in the Buffalo and surrounding areas. Anybody that's talking about the Buffalo Bills right now, you should be on that show pissed off, cussing, hollering, fussing, talking about Josh Allen. Because you had the easiest path to the Super Bowl. You had, listen, Texas fans don't have, their quarterback isn't the reigning MVP. He just finished his third season in his second offensive system. How long Josh Allen been in that offensive system? Josh Allen was an MVP. And you're telling me he couldn't even get him to the Super Bowl? Some of y'all gonna say, well, what about the Bills defense? I mean, they're helter-skelter. They play up and down. They play up and down. Yeah, well, guess what? You remember how great the Texans defense played against the New England Patriots? And they still lost because CJ had four interceptions. CJ had, 4 interceptions? Woody Marks lost a fumble. But CJ had 4 interceptions. You know who else had 4 interceptions? Josh Allen. Josh Allen made one of the most boneheaded plays towards the end of the first half in that playoff game against the Denver Broncos that led to points. You have not a snowball chance in hell to score. And here you are taking off, trying to make something happen. Why? Hey, bro. Hey, my guy, just go down. You know how y'all wanted CJ to throw the ball away on that pick six? You know how you want a CJ to just take the sack on that pick six? You know how you just want a CJ to throw the ball at the feet of the wide receiver or the tight end on that pick six? That's exactly what Buffalo Bills fans should have been talking about when it came to Josh Allen. The MVP, who has way more experience than CJ Stroud. But yet, even after that weekend, the national media decided that they would trash CJ Stroud and make excuses for Josh Allen. And as time went on, that aged like sour milk. That aged like sour milk. Just look at it. Are you telling me that the Buffalo Bills could not have represented the AFC in the Super Bowl last night? On Sunday, rather? And they could have. And whose fault is it that they didn't? It's Josh Allen's fault. It's Josh Allen's fault. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think Josh Allen would ever make it to a Super Bowl. I don't. I don't think that Josh Allen will ever make it to a Super Bowl, much less win one. And look, hey, you clip this up and you can call it oh wait, hold on. Clip this. I wonder if they did it. Or clip that. Anyway, you can do whatever you need to do to it and put it in freezing cold takes. But I'll say it. Big Sarge right here. Big Sarge Sports with a Z at the end on all major social media platforms. I don't believe that Josh Allen will ever make a Super Bowl. And I don't believe that Josh Allen will ever win a Super Bowl. So if he'll never make it, he can't never win it. So you see where I'm going with that. I'm about to take a break. When I come back, Texas fans, I think I know why you're mad. We'll be back.
Hi, Laura Williams coming to you here from Easy Honda. Just want to remind you that this is my new home, and here at Easy Honda, we are here to take care of all your vehicle needs. From new vehicles to pre-owned vehicles, we've got what you are looking for. And if you're a business and you're looking for vehicles, we've got a great selection here at our dealership. For any information on getting your next vehicle here at Easy Honda, you can reach me at 281-224-3666. Remember to ask for Laura Williams. We make it easy here at Easy Honda.
Hey, welcome back. You're tuned to Sports Talk with Big Sarge. I'm your host, Big Sarge. There we go. Stay out of my mentions. I don't know what it is about these Russian bots that just keep popping in my mentions. I digress. Texans fans. Let's talk. Hold on. Y'all know. Hey, shout out to Big Sarge. He's on the final day of his fast. We break the fast on Tuesday. My church, Alpha Street Baptist Church, we've been fasting for the last 30 days. Well, it'll be 30 days on Tuesday. And it has really changed my life. There's something I'll talk about probably in the Texans tailgate. On Texans Tailgate Talk in the Texans Happy Hour. I'll talk about that a little bit more. But yeah, so shout out to Sarge. I had to give me some water, y'all. All right. Texans fans, I think I know why you're really mad. I think I understand why you're really upset, especially after watching the Super Bowl. I get it. I got it. I understand. Do you have a right to be upset? You do. You do. You have a right to be upset, but I don't think for the reasons that some of you all are saying. because you're looking at it from a Super Bowl perspective. I don't think that the Texans would have, even when they had to go up in Denver, I don't think that they would have beat Denver in Denver, even with the backup quarterback, only because that weather the weather changed, excuse me. When that weather changed, the Houston Texans didn't have a strong enough running game in order to be able to sustain. So they would have had to get up on the Broncos by at least 10 points. And then when that weather changed, just try to sustain that. Did the Texans have the defense to sustain a 10-point lead? Yes, they do. But the Denver Broncos have one hell of a defense. And if you're Angel, I'm gonna say this with all due respect. Just stop, please. I don't want to have to ban you, but I will. I will put your ass right up out the chat. But I would like for you to come here and enjoy the show. Hand over heart, I digress. I think that if the Texans would have gotten up on the Denver Broncos by 10 points, and when that weather changed, I think that it would have had the Texans defense would have been able to sustain, especially with the Broncos playing with a backup quarterback. But if the Texans aren't up on the Broncos and that weather change, I don't think that they had the running game that would have allowed them to beat the Denver Broncos in Denver in that weather. And that's no shot at Woody Marks. I just had to put that in somebody else's chat that Woody Marks is just a rookie. And I'm still trying to figure out why y'all are so hell-bent and determined to criticize Woody Marks when he has only played one season in the NFL. One. And you have already made projections on what he is going to be. Well, let me say it like this. Go back and look at Joe Mixon. Go back and look at Joe Mixon's first, I guess, 3 years or something like that in the NFL. You couldn't really say that Joe Mixon was going to be Joe Mixon. Did he have the did he have the potential? She surely did. Just like I believe that Woody Marks has the potential, but I don't believe that the Houston Texans run game would have been strong enough to sustain the Denver Broncos in the AFC Championship game if they're not already up by 10 points. With that being said, let me say this. Texans fans, I think one of the reasons why you're really upset, I think that one of the reasons why you're really mad is because you've seen your opportunity to go to your first AFC Championship game slip away against by losing to the New England Patriots. You watch the New England Patriots go all the way to the Super Bowl, and you're saying that there's no possible way that you believe that New England Patriots team was better than the Houston Texans. So I think that some Texans fans aren't upset about not making the Super Bowl. They're just upset that they haven't gotten past the divisional round. I think the Houston Texans are 0-8 in the divisional rounds. I know as a franchise and as an organization, they've never made it to an AFC Championship game. And I think that most fans are upset that this would have been the first time that this was the first opportunity, especially with that number one overall defense that they had. This was their first opportunity and a chance to make it to the AFC Championship game. Then you make it to the AFC Championship game, and then hey, look, all cards on the table. You go from there. If they make it to the AFC Championship game, if they make it to the AFC Championship game, then there's a possibility that you can make it to the Super Bowl. Now, do I think that they would have beaten the Seattle Seahawks in the Super Bowl? I don't. I don't believe that they would, and it's only because I don't think that they would have been ready yet. But that experience and that opportunity to at least make it to an AFC Championship game, hell, even make it to a Super Bowl, would have done wonders for this Houston Texans team. But to watch the New England Patriots, a team that you pretty much dominated the whole day, especially from a defensive perspective, a team that you dominated, go all the way and have an opportunity to win a Super Bowl, who played in the Super Bowl, that's why the majority of the Houston Texans fans are mad. They're not mad that they didn't make it to the Super Bowl. They're mad that they watched a team that they should have beaten in the division round make it to the Super Bowl. That's it. That's one of the prime reasons why the most Texans fans are upset, because they blew the opportunity to at least make it to the AFC Championship game and have an opportunity to compete. Sure, we can talk about the loss of Nico Collins and the loss of Nico Collins, CJ Stroud not having his All-Pro, I'm sorry, not his All-Pro, his Pro Bowl wide receiver not playing in the game. You could talk about him losing his second biggest target in Dalton Schultz early on in the game. But it was still a winnable game. And that pick six turned the trajectory of that game so much. And from that point on, the Houston Texans offense looked so inefficient, while the defense played lights out. And Houston Texans fans are looking. The Houston Texans fans are saying to themselves, okay, we don't even give a damn if we make it to the Super Bowl or not. Cool. Just get us to the AFC Championship game. And if you get us to the AFC Championship game, we don't know what could happen. Lady Luck could have been on our side, and we could have pushed through and made it. But we can't even we didn't even get to the AFC Championship game. And it wasn't like you lost to the Kansas City Chiefs. Like the past losses that the Houston Texans have had in the division around the last 2 years, you can say, okay, the first year they lost to the number one seeded team in the AFC in the Baltimore Ravens, and they had them tied 10-10 at the half, and they lost the war of attrition in the second half. But that was the number one team in the NFL. In the AFC, in the Baltimore Ravens, which, hey, by all measures, that was one hell of a team, even though they went and they lost to the Kansas City Chiefs. But that was one hell of a team. Lamar Jackson, right? They lost to Lamar Jackson the first year. The second year, they go into Kansas City and they lose to Kansas City, I think by one score, but they were competing, but you lose to Patrick Mahomes. So one division around, the first division around, you lose to Lamar Jackson in 2023. Then in 2024, you lose to Patrick Mahomes. Two of the top 7 quarterbacks in the NFL. Two organizations and franchises who were at the time better than the Houston Texans. But you lose to them. You lose to Patrick Mahomes. You lose to Lamar Jackson. You lose to Patrick Mahomes. Ain't no way in hell you should have lost to Drake May. Ain't no way in hell you should have lost to Drake May. And that's what's pissing a lot of the Houston Texans fans off. Hey, you lost to the Baltimore Ravens. Okay, we get it. First year, you're making the turnaround. We got it. Second year, hey, when you're going up against an Andy Reid coach team, when you're going up against Patrick Mahomes, a first ballot Hall of Famer, when you're going up against Travis Kelce, a first ballot Hall of Famer, when you're going up against that Spagnolia's defense who switched things up in the fourth quarter and just totally dismantled any and everything that the Houston Texans offense wanted to do, you got it. You lose to the Ravens, you lose to the Chiefs. Ain't no way you're supposed to lose to the Patriots, a team who won 4 games in the previous year. You watch Drake May. Everybody has watched Drake May. Well, Sarge, he was one vote away from being a NFL MVP. Yeah, you know why? Because a lot of the voters was, well, let me take that back. I don't want to call the voters. We're not going to do that. Because it's a regular season award. In the regular season, Drake May played well. I'm not going to discount and discredit the voters who thought that Drake May, even though I would have voted for Matthew Stafford too, because I just think that Matthew Stafford was way more polished this year than he was. But if I'm not even if I'm not giving it to Matthew Stafford, I'm taking a look and I'm saying, if you're talking about MVP, Jackson Smith and Jigba was the MVP for the Seattle Seahawks, but we all know that the MVP is just the MVP is a quarterback award. They're going to give that to the majority of the quarterbacks 9 times out of 10. There's other players. Hell, there's some other players, and we'll talk about that at another time. They probably could have gotten the the MVP. But Matthew Stafford, deservingly so, with the way that the regular season that Drake May had, you could say that. But we're talking about postseason Drake May. And that's why a lot of the Texans fans are irate today. That's why a lot of the Texans fans are pissed off. So a lot of the Texans fans are on social media and calling it to their local radio stations right now, talking about what could have been. Not what could have been making it to the Super Bowl, what could have been just to make it to the AFC Championship game. Drake May. I listen. Let me tell you something. I don't know if Drake May could have. Shit. How old is Mendoza? How old is Mendoza? Shit. I'm talking about the quarterback from Indiana who won the national championship this year. Shit, he probably could have came in and played better than Drake May did in the postseason. I'm just saying. Is he 26? No way. Y'all hold on for a second. How is what's his first name? That's probably the better question. All I know is that his last name is Mendoza. I can't. How old is Fernando Mendoza is 22. He ain't no 26. So I was like, wait a minute, how old is he? Mendoza may have been able to play better this postseason than Drake May. Let me say this. Texas fans, let me say this. You have every right to be pissed off. I'm just trying to stay calm because I know that once I come off this fast and what I've been told and what I've been given, it's going to be a lot of things that's going to be changed. There's going to be a lot of upset people. So I'm just trying to stay calm, y'all. Let me just stay calm and get this out. Texans fans, you have every right to be mad. You have every right to be upset that the Houston Texans lost to the New England Patriots, a team that I don't feel like should have been in the Super Bowl at all. And one when I knew that they were going to represent the AFC, and I said, "Oh, they going against Seattle? Nah, not against that defense. You're not going to win. You're not going to win against that defense because you look at it like this: the Patriots beat the Texans, right? Well, hold on, what was the Patriots? What was the Patriots' path to? Because I don't know who they played in the wild card. Where is it? Here we go. Didn't they play somebody in the wild card? Who did they play? Okay, they beat the Chargers. That's what I okay. I forgot they played the Chargers. They beat the Chargers 16-3. Drake May had 268 yards passing, one touchdown, one interception. They got 146 yard combined total yards of rushing. And you only beat a Chargers team who was playing with Kyle Berkeley's offensive line. Hell, they second string offensive lineman. I don't know if I can name you one offensive lineman from the Chargers. Not that ended the season. Austin Deculus was there, former Houston Texan. Didn't he go to South Fair? I know he won a championship. I know he won a national championship with LSU. But Austin Deculus, but I know, and don't get me wrong, that's because my mind isn't functioning right now, because I know that they had some starting the year, they had some really good offensive linemen. Didn't they lose one of their offensive linemen? Didn't he sign like an extension? And then next thing you know, he got hurt and he was out for the year. Like the Chargers had some good offensive linemen, but by the time, I mean, it was a miracle that they even made it to the postseason with that offensive line. So you beat them 16-3. And then you come back and you beat the Texans 28-16, right? And Drake May, 179 yards passing. He had 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, was sacked 5 times. And I think that he lost a fumble too, if I'm not mistaken. But they win 28-16. Then they go into the AFC Championship game and they win 10-7. And even before, listen, that weather wasn't bad in the first half. And in the first half, Drake May had 41 yards passing. 41 yards passing. 41. Second half, I ain't nothing I can say about that because that weather did get ridiculous. But that first half, he had 41 yards passing. So once again, if you want to know why the majority of the Houston Texans fans are upset, if you want to know why they're not happy, it's because they looked at a New England Patriots team and said, no possible way that shouldn't have been us. Couldn't have been us, at least in the AFC Championship game. At least. And so Texans fans are watching the Super Bowl pissed off. After the Super Bowl, pissed off. They're going to be pissed off during the draft, during rookie minicamp, during OTAs, during mandatory OTAs, during training camp, and at the beginning of the regular season. They're going to be upset because they're always going to harp back on what could have been. Ooh, I got a question for you. I got a question for you, right? I'll make sure I write this down. Question. And then I'm going to end the show. I'm going to clip this up and I'm going to put it out. Texas fans, what are you most upset about as far as the divisional round games are concerned? Let me take that back. Texas fans, which one makes you the most upset? Blowing the lead to Kansas City in, that big lead that they had in Kansas City and they blew the lead, or losing to the New England Patriots, knowing that was one of the easiest paths to get to the AFC Championship game? When you blew the lead, when you blew the lead against Kansas City, that huge lead that you had against Kansas City in the divisional round, and you hold on, because y'all know I got to do this to round. I just don't remember the year. Texas. I don't remember the year. Let me look this up again. 2020. Yep, that's when it was. 2020. Okay, so let's try this again. Let me make sure I got this right. 2020. 31. Up 24 points. All right. I got it. Let me change that to 49-15. Texans fans, which game upsets you more? Blowing the 24-point lead to the Kansas City Chiefs in 2020 in the divisional round with an opportunity to play in the AFC Championship game, or this past postseason and losing to the New England Patriots? Because if you think about it, You know what? I'm gonna let y'all answer that. I ain't gonna need. I'm not gonna even answer that because I mean both of them was devastating. Of course, both of them. Like the Houston Texans, this postseason, the Houston Texans should have been headed into their at least their second AFC Championship game with an opportunity to make it to the Super Bowl. But that blowing that 24-point lead in Kansas City, losing 51-31. Y'all know that they said that the Kansas City Chiefs scored so much in that game that the stadium ran out of fireworks. They pop fireworks every time they score a touchdown. Kansas City scored so much in that game that they ran out of fireworks. They ran out of fireworks to celebrate the they ran out of fireworks to celebrate touchdowns. Sheesh. Up 24 points. You lose in the division round to the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. Or are you upset? You going back and you're looking, you saying, how did we lose to this New England Patriots team who 1 year prior only won 4 games? We when I say we, I'm talking about the Texans. Speaking from a Texans fan's perspective, like we went up there and we beat them in New England the year prior. Drake May's first game, as a matter of fact, starting. And then you come back and you allow that team to beat you in the divisional round. Another opportunity for you to make it to at least the AFC Championship game, and you didn't. Yeah. Yep. Well, hey, losing the Super Bowl couldn't have happened to a better person than Stephon Diggs. I guess now you have more time to make more babies, right? Yeah. And notice I didn't say with Cardi B. I just said make more babies. That's all I said. I didn't say more time to make babies with Cardi B. I just said more time to make babies. How many he had last year? See, now I'm just being petty. And that's how many babies did he have last year though? Well, hey, 1, 2, 3 Cancun. You got a lot of opportunities to make it to you got a lot of opportunities now to have. It's 2026 is early. If you play your cards right, you probably get you about 3 this year. I know, especially when you get with your brother. Y'all line to have 6 kids, 7 kids amongst each other in this calendar year alone. Hey, one before I go, hold on. I gotta say this, y'all. I gotta say this. Hold on, y'all give me 1 second. I gotta say this before I go. Let me see what the comments talking about. Stephon is productive. He really is off the field. Okay, I gotta say this before I go, y'all. Hear me out. Dallas Cowboys fans, Dallas Cowboys media, Dallas Cowboys organization, Dallas Cowboys social media presence, whoever is affiliated with the Dallas Cowboys and I'm talking about team and fans. Hey man, don't fix your lips to talk about the Houston Texans. Don't talk about the Houston Texans should be disappointed. That's the last team that you should want to talk about because it ain't like y'all had a better season. Oh, well, we didn't have the defense, but you had the offense. Wasn't Dak Prescott at one point in MVP consideration? Didn't you have an all-pro in George Pickens? Isn't CD Lamb really good? Isn't Jake Ferguson really good? Sure, you suffered on the defensive side of the ball, but that's Jerry did that. Jera did that. He let DeMarcus Lawrence walk. DeMarcus Lawrence won a Super Bowl. He got a ring. He got a ring coming. He went to the Seahawks, and he has a ring coming. You let Micah Parsons walk. And once he gets back healthy, he's going to be right back as productive as he was, because he's a very, 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 very good player. But you talk about you didn't have the defense, but you had the offense. None of those, none of those teams a lot of those teams in the NFC, they were really, really good. Cool. You didn't even make the playoffs. You didn't even make the playoffs. You shouldn't fix your lips to talk about the Houston Texans. How? How you hating from the outside of the club? You can't even get in. And y'all got the nerve to fix your mouth and talk about the Texans should be disappointed? The Texans who started off 0-3 and ended the season on a 11 game 11 game winning streak. I'm sorry, they did not. Did they? They went 0-3, then they were what, 2-3. Then they finished the season what, 13 and 3. I gotta go back and look. Anyway, 10 game winning streak, however many it was. They ended the season on a winning streak. They made it to the divisional round. Cowboys didn't. The Cowboys did not. They went on a 10 game winning streak then. That's right. They were 0-3. Then they went to 2. They got to 2-5. Or they got to 2-3. Then they won 10 games in a row. Because when they won, when they beat the Steelers, that was their 11th game in a row. Yes, okay. Right. They won 10 regular season games in a row to finish the season. And then they won that playoff game, which 11 game winning streak, and then they lost against the Patriots in the playoffs. The playoffs. In the playoffs. And so, hey, Dallas Cowboy fans. And I mean, don't try to come at me, because I've probably been a Cowboys fan longer than a lot of you all have been alive. Don't be no hypocrite. Just say good game and move on. Don't talk about you shouldn't talk about no other team. Especially shouldn't talk about the Texans. You couldn't even get into the club. Just had to get that off my chest. Make sure you follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter at Big Sarge Sports, Z at the end. Follow me on the Tick and the Talk at Big Sarge Media. Make sure you subscribe to the Texas Tailgate Talk and Big Sarge Media YouTube pages. Follow me on Instagram at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end. Because we do everything for the gram. And hey, once I come off this fast, I got some big things for y'all. Big Sarge, I'm out.
That was Big Sarge.